Hello everyone. Welcome back to DET Practice. Today we're covering something super important that every DET test taker needs to know about, the new secondary camera requirement. Whether you're taking the test next week or next month, this video will help you master the setup process and avoid any technical issues on test day. Let's start with what's actually changed. DET has recently introduced a mandatory requirement that affects every single test taker. You'll now need to use your smartphone as a secondary camera during the exam. This camera will record your computer screen and keyboard throughout your entire test session. Now, I know this might sound a bit intimidating at first. Some of you might be thinking, great, one more thing to worry about. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll see it's actually quite straightforward when you know what you're doing. You might be wondering why DET has implemented this change. It's all about maintaining test integrity and ensuring everyone has a fair chance to demonstrate their English skills. Think of it as creating a level playing field for everyone. When all test takers follow the same protocols, we can be sure that your score truly reflects your English ability. It's actually a good thing. It makes your DET score more valuable and trustworthy to universities and employers. Before we dive into the setup process, let's talk about what you'll need. You'll want to make sure you have the right equipment before your test day arrives. Let's break down each requirement in detail. First, your smartphone. It doesn't need to be the latest iPhone or Samsung Galaxy, but it should be relatively recent. Why? Because older phones might struggle with continuous video recording. Your computer needs a working webcam. That's non-negotiable. Remember, you'll be using both your computer's webcam and your phone's camera during the test. Internet stability is crucial. You'll be streaming video from two devices, so a strong, reliable connection is essential. Finally, don't overlook the importance of a good phone stand. This might seem minor, but trust me, trying to prop your phone against a stack of books is not a risk worth taking. Alright, now let's get into the meat of it, the setup process. I'm going to break this down into manageable steps, and we'll go through each one carefully. First things first, charge your phone to 100%. Even better, keep it plugged in during the test. Next, let's talk about the Do Not Disturb mode. This is absolutely crucial. One notification, one phone call, that's all it takes to interrupt your recording. Go into your storage settings and make sure you have at least 2 GB of free space. The recording can take up quite a bit of memory. Close all those background apps, yes, all of them. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, everything needs to go. Here's something people often forget. Disable your phone's auto lock feature. You don't want your screen going dark in the middle of your test. Now, let's set up your testing environment. This is about creating the perfect space for both your computer and phone setup. Choose a well-lit room. Natural light is great, but make sure there's no glare on your screen. Clear everything off your desk except what's absolutely necessary for the test. You'll need space for your computer, keyboard, and phone stand. Check your power outlet situation. You'll need 2 free outlets, one for your computer and one for your phone. Using extension cords? Make sure they're safely positioned and won't get in the way of your camera setup. The surface stability is crucial. A wobbly desk is your enemy here. Give it a test, type normally, and see if anything shakes. If it does, you might need to find a more stable surface. Now we're getting to the technical part, setting up the DET app itself. First, make sure you've downloaded the official DET desktop app. Don't wait until test day to do this. Once installed, log into your account. The app will guide you through the initial setup process. When you reach the secondary camera setup, you'll see a QR code on your screen. Here's an important detail. Use your phone's native camera app to scan this code. Don't use WhatsApp or any other third-party scanner. This is a common mistake that can cause problems. Camera positioning might seem simple, but it's actually one of the most crucial parts of your setup. Get this wrong, and you might have to restart your entire test. Think of your phone camera as a security guard. It needs to see everything happening on your desk. Position your phone slightly behind your computer, either to the left or right side. The key is finding that sweet spot where both your keyboard and screen are clearly visible. Height matters too. Your phone should be elevated, about 8 to 12 inches off the desk surface. This gives the best angle to capture everything without creating awkward shadows or glare. Let me share a pro tip I've learned from helping hundreds of students. Use books or a sturdy box under your phone stand to achieve the perfect height. Just make sure whatever you use is completely stable. Now, let's talk about what to do when things don't go as planned. Because let's be honest, sometimes they don't. First up, connection issues. If your phone disconnects during the test, don't panic. You'll have a brief window to reconnect. The key is staying calm and following the on-screen instructions. Battery drainage is another common concern. Even if you start with 100%, your phone might drain quickly while recording. That's why keeping it plugged in is so important. Before your actual test day, I strongly recommend doing at least one full practice run. Think of it as a dress rehearsal for the main event. Do this practice run at the same time of day as your planned test. Why? Because lighting conditions can change dramatically throughout the day. What works perfectly at noon might be terrible at 4 p.m. due to glare or shadows. Set up everything exactly as you would for the real test. Time yourself. Knowing how long the setup takes will help you plan better on test day. Before we wrap up, let me share some insider tips that can make a real difference in your test experience. First, let's talk about timing. Plan to start your setup at least 30 minutes before your scheduled test time. This gives you a buffer for any unexpected issues. Trust me, you don't want to be rushing through the setup process. Have a backup plan ready. What if your phone crashes? What if your internet goes down? These things rarely happen, but when they do, you'll be glad you prepared. Let me share some common mistakes that you absolutely want to avoid. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people trying to wing it without a practice run. Another is using makeshift solutions for phone mounting. Remember, if your phone falls during the test, you'll have to start over, and nobody wants that. Let's end with a comprehensive final checklist you can use on test day. Make sure all devices are fully charged. Do not disturb is enabled. You have a stable internet connection, clear desk space, proper lighting, secure phone stand, all apps closed, and backup plans ready. Print this checklist if you can. It's your roadmap to a smooth test experience. Remember, this new requirement isn't meant to make your life difficult. It's there to protect the integrity of your test results. Stay calm, follow these guidelines, and you'll handle it like a pro. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more DET preparation tips. Drop your questions in the comments below. We'll be there to help you out.